Good day, class. Today I will be discussing the truth tables rule. Okay, so we have a rule. If we're going to solve a truth table, rule number 1, we need to find the given variables. Number 2, we need to check the variables based on 2. So if we have two variables based on 2 raised to 2 is equal to 4 divided by 2, then we will be having 2 true and 2 false. Okay. Then if we have three variables, it is based on 2 raised to 3 is equal to 8 divided by 2 is equal to 4 true, 4 false. Then we need to find the negation. After that, we need to follow the precedence. So if we had a problem with parentheses, after the negation, we need to solve first whatever is inside the parentheses. Then we need to copy the problem. Okay. So this is the end. Okay. So if we had the rule on end is that what condition should be true to make it true. If one condition is false, it is automatically false. What condition is false, that will always be false. So this is the sign of the end, or what we call the conjunction. Okay, this is the logical sign of OR. The rule of OR is that if both condition is true, that will always be true. If one condition is false, that will always be true. But if both condition is false, that remain false. We had also one logical connectives, the NOT. So whatever the truth, then the negation of that becomes false. The false becomes true. Okay. Now let's solve a simple problem. I have here a simple problem. We have negative P or Q, or P and not Q. Okay, let's go back to the rule. The rule number 1, we need to find the given variable. Okay, the given variable, we have P and Q. Okay, rule number 2, check the variables based on 2. If you have two variables, base of 2 raised to 2 is equal to 4 divided by 2. So we will be having 2 true, 2 false, 2 true, 2 false. Okay, all in all, these are 8. Okay. Next one, the Q, we have 1 true, 1 false, 1 true, 1 false, 1 true, 1 false, 1 true, 1 false. Ito naman yung discrete na rule natin while when we have variable 2. Pag dalawa lang yung variable natin na nasa problem, we have 2 true, 2 false, 2 true, 2 false. Then on the Q part, we have TF, TF, or true, false, true, false, true, false. This is already the discrete. Okay. Next, rule number 3, we need to find the negation. Okay. We cannot start from here, the negation, because it is inside the parentheses. But we had here inside the parentheses, the negative Q. Okay. The negative Q. Okay. So, we are going to check, ano ba yung negative? Magiging negative ng Q na to. Okay. The true become false, the false become true, the true become false, the false become true, the true become false, the false become true, the true become false, and the false become true. Okay. Next rule, we need to follow the precedence. Parenthesis muna. Okay. So, we had here a parenthesis, P or Q. Okay. We copy P or Q. So, it is in between the P or Q. Okay, what is the rule of OR? Both conditions should be true to make it true. If one condition is false, that will always be true. If both condition is false, that will always be false. Okay, so it is, we're now going to proceed to the P or Q, which is this one. So, true or true is true. True or false is true. True, false and true is true. False and false is false. True and true is true. True and false is true. False and true is true. False and false is false. Okay. Next, parenthesis. We had P and not Q. P and not Q. Okay. We had already here the not. We have the not Q. We had the P here. So, the rule of end, if one condition is false, that will always be false. Okay. So, P and not Q. So it is P and not Q. Okay. True and false, that will always be false. True and true, that will always be true. False and false, that will always be false. False and true, that will always be false. True and false, that will always be false. True and true, that will always be true. False and false, that will always be false. False and true, that will always be false. Okay. Next, we had here negative P or Q. Okay. Negative P or Q. Ito yung P or Q natin. Now, we're just going to negate whatever is inside below that P or Q. So, the true here become false. The true here become false. The true here become false. The false become true. The true become false. False. The true become false. The true become false. And the false become true. Okay. So, meron na tayong negative. Okay. We have negative P or Q, which is that one. We already have P and not Q. So, if we're going to solve this one, from here, going there. Okay. P or, okay, the not P or Q, or P and not Q, which is this one. Okay, that is the rule number 5. We need to copy the whole problem to solve. Okay, so the problem is P or, the problem is not P or Q, or P and not Q. Okay, so it is between these two column. Okay, so false or false, that will always be false. False or true, that will always be true. False or false, that will always be false. True or false, that will always be true. False or false, that will always be false. False or true, that will always be true. False or false, that will always be false. True or false, that will always be true. Then this is our final output.